And so it didn't make the top 3 list because technically it's not an ab exercise. But if there was one exercise I would recommend, I would tell you to do that's the most important to help you get a six-pack, it's Coach Greg, and today we're going over the 3 best and 3 worst exercises for your abs. But before I get into the exact exercises you should do and those that you should avoid, let me first start off by pointing out you cannot spot reduce the fat on your abs. Doing a bunch of sit-ups does not burn the fat from your stomach. Fat's gonna go where it's gonna go. So just because you're doing sit-up after sit-up doesn't mean you're gonna burn fat from your stomach. And unless your body fat is low enough, you're not going to be able to see the abs underneath. If you have a small layer of fat over your abs, of course you're going to see it. But if you have 17 duvets worth of fat covering your abs, you can't see your abs. Also, the abs are a muscle just like any other muscle. Just like the biceps. They all grow in the same way. There is no magic, unique, special formula to train your abs compared to the biceps or chesticles. What applies true to build any muscle applies true to build the abs. And so to build the abs, just as you do for any other muscle, you need 3 main components. You need protein, amino acids, you need the energy to build that muscle, and you need water. Without that, you can't build the abs. And you also need a stimulus for muscle protein synthesis to occur. If you just lay back on the couch and don't do anything ever, you are not going to build up your abdominals. And so the criteria I use to decide which exercises were best, as it's going to be highly contested, highly debatable depending on the person, I believe it's important that normal people can do these exercises. If an ab exercise is amazing, but you need to be Chris Heria or an Olympic gymnast to know how to do it, to balance a certain way, do the exercise, it's useless to most people. If I can't do it, the average person probably can't do it. And so that's an important criteria. It's fine to just say this is the best exercise, but if everyone does it wrong, it's too complicated, and you need to have so much balance to do it, then it's not really a good exercise. Also, it needs to be safe, not hurt your lower back, and it needs to be effective. It needs to actually target the abdominals. And so when I talk about the abdominals, I'm quite specific here in talking about the 6-pack in the front of the body. You will notice people, if they're lean enough, will have the external obliques. You can see them crisscrossing on the side. And making the top 3, in 3rd place, the hanging knee raise. Also, you can perform these by holding yourself in a dips position. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter!
If your hands are above your head hanging and lifting your knees up, or if you're holding yourself like this, if that's more comfortable, and lifting your knees up, that is in my top 3 exercise. All you have to do is raise your knees till parallel with the floor and slowly return to the bottom. You don't have to lift your legs way up into the air and slamming the top with your shins. You don't need to do that. That's going to work more of your hip flexors. We're trying to target the abs specifically. That is all you need to do. And for most people, that is going to be a challenging exercise that you don't have to do 100 reps. If it's too easy, you can always add weight. You can make it harder than last time. You could use bands and so on. But this is a great exercise to put you in a proper rep range in order to build muscle. And in 2nd place, your choice, VUps or a hollow body crunch. I love these exercises. I don't train abs specifically, but if I had to do them, these are the ones that I would do. But if you are trying to target your abs, you want to do some, these are great exercises. In either case, you're crunching towards your belly button. You're shortening the muscle by squeezing forward. Your chest and your knees are going towards each other at the same time. Depending on your strength level, you can do it sitting on the floor, using your arms to assist, or on the edge of a bench, or you can stretch out your body further or closer depending on how strong you are. It's a great exercise for the beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And in 1st place, the best exercise for your abs, the weighted crunch. Not with someone sitting on your knees, but with just you laying on the floor and holding a weight. If you just do regular crunches, most people are fit, can do 50, 100, 200 more. It's too many. The muscles are built just like any other exercise. And so just because it's the abdominals, why are we doing sets of 50? How many times do you go to the gym and do a set of 50 bicep curls, 50 squats, 50 bench press. Hardly ever. And so if you're trying to build the abs, you need to progressive overload. If you're using a weight, you can go heavier as you need. You can start with your body weight, then add 5 pounds. Maybe a month or two later, you go up to 10. You keep increasing the load and training harder than last time in the proper rep range. For most people, doing a set of 15, that is good. How many people train their abs in a range of about 15? Almost no one. They're likely watching a Chloe Ting video with 300 million views and doing sit-up after sit-up after sit-up. Hundreds of sit-ups in a 10-minute workout. Is that really what we should be doing to train our abs? Well, how many of you do a 10-minute Chloe Ting bench press workout to train your chest? 10 minutes of biceps, doing rep after rep, the bicep curls with hardly any rest and going from one exercise to the other. That's not how you build muscle. That's cardio. And if you're trying to burn a bunch of calories, here's a tip for you. Go for a walk. You're going to burn way more calories going for a slow walk than you are going all out doing sit-ups. And so it didn't make the top 3 list because technically it's not an ab exercise. But if there was one exercise I would recommend, I would tell you to do that's the most important to help you get a six-pack, it's cardio. Because if you do cardio, you're going to burn off fat. And the more fat you burn off, the leaner you get, the easier it is to see your abs. If you really want a six-pack, you need to have lower body fat levels, and doing a bunch of sit-ups is not going to get your body fat much lower. You're going to burn a couple calories, but hardly any in comparison to doing cardio. So if you really truly want to get a six-pack that's visible, you can do sit-ups till you're blue in the face, but if you don't do your cardio, you don't eat in a calorie deficit, you don't get leaner, you're not going to see your abs. And now let's go to the 3 worst exercises you can do for your abs. And the first one on the list, I only recently discovered. I was watching Charles Glass and he had this great exercise for your abs, or so he says. And he says to do this. You put your hand over your head and you crunch down towards the ground. You crunch down. Okay, so hear me out. To train your abs, you need resistance. If you crunch down, gravity is pulling your weight towards it. If you crunch down, gravity is helping you to do that. You can quite literally fall to the floor without contracting your abs whatsoever. You are going with gravity. And so it's not actually an ab exercise. The work is being done when straightening out to the top. It's technically working behind your back. It's not working in front. When you're crunching down, it's easy. It's not doing anything. And so you're not going to get a six-pack. You're not doing progressive overload by doing this. The work you're doing is straightening up the body, and that's still too easy. So Charles Glass goofed on this one. Other exercises perhaps are better than these, but you're not going to get a six-pack by doing this. Number 2, side bends with dumbbells. I remember when I started lifting, I was 10 years of age. Grab a dumbbell in one hand, other hand like this on the head, and we go side like this. It's more so working the obliques on the side and not the abdominals, and it can put some pressure on your lower back. If you're trying to have a small waist and look aesthetic, this is going to do the opposite. It is going to thicken your waist, and it's easy. Almost anyone can grab a 100-pound dumbbell and lean to the side and go back up. It's not useful. You can lift heavy weights. Going to put some strain on the lower back. Highly recommend you avoid doing that exercise. And there were so many different exercises, I didn't know which one to pick was the worst. So I summarized it by adding it all, putting them all into this one category of the worst exercise to do for your abs. Any fitness influencer, 10-minute or more abs that you're supposed to do daily. You do not need to train your abs every day. Makes no sense. How many of us are training our chest every day? Biceps every day, 10 or 15 minutes. The abs is a muscle just like the chest, just like the biceps. You don't need to train it every day. And these ab routines simply force you to go rep after rep after rep, doing hundreds of repetitions of a variety of exercises. You don't need to do this. If you're trying to build muscle, you need to progressive overload, and you need to rest at least 1 or 2 minutes between sets. If you're doing rep after rep and not taking any breaks, you're doing cardio. The muscles require at least somewhat of a heavy stimulus for muscle growth. You can't do 10 minutes straight of abs and expect to get bigger and stronger abs. It's cardio. It's doing conditioning. You don't want to do your abs every single day, so these 10 to 15 minute waste of time exercises could be better spent doing cardio. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comment section. Did I miss your favorite? Which is your favorite exercise? What's your worst one? Comment for the algorithm, subscribe, click the bell button. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IP Pro. Please watch one of the VUps, the harder than last time supplements, including the Testosterone, the Circle Diet book, cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team. Get whatever you need. Click the link in the description. And until next time, I am out.